Hi guys, this is Mohammed P, a tutor on Chegg.com. So today we are talking about completing the square. So completing the square has different applications such as graphing a quadratic expression or solving a quadratic equation and etc. So we have to start with the general form of a quadratic equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c. In order to make this completing a square, let's start actually with the quadratic equation. So I'm setting this equal to 0 and I'm trying to solve this by completing this square. So in order to start making this square, we have to factor out the coefficient of x squared here, which is a. So I'm going to factor out a, which gives me x squared plus b over a x plus c over a. And this is equal to 0. So I can divide the both sides by a. So I can divide by a. So I would have x squared plus b over ax plus c over a equal to 0. So the first step was getting rid of the coefficient of x squared, which is a here. I factored it out and then I divided the both sides by a. Now I'm gonna grab this coefficient, the middle one, b over a, and I'm gonna make it half. So I'm dividing it by 2. So I would get b over 2a. And the next step is making this result squared. So it's going to be b over 2a squared, which gives me b squared over 4a squared. Now, I would have to add this thing on the both sides of the equation. So I have x squared plus b over ax plus c over a. I'm adding b squared over 4a squared here. And then b squared over 4a squared on the right side too. Okay. Now I'm going to move this constant c over a to the right side. So I would have x squared plus b over ax plus b squared over 4a squared equal b squared over 4a squared minus c over a. Now, if you look at the expression on the left, this one, we can rewrite this as the x plus b over 2a squared. Because if I make the first term squared, I would get x squared. If I make the second term squared, I would get b squared over 4a squared. And if I multiply the first one times 2 and then multiply it by the second one, I would get the middle terms here. Because if you remember, I'm going to write on the side a plus b squared. It was a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. That's the same thing. X squared is right here. B over 2a squared is right here. And then 2 times the first one times the second one, it gives me the middle term. Okay, so that's a main part of completing a square, that you're going to start seeing the square here. And then on the right side, I would have whatever it is. It's a constant, b squared 4a squared minus c over a. That's going to be a constant. And obviously to solve this, I'm going to take the square root of the both sides. So I would have a square root of x plus b over 2a squared equal to the square root. Actually, I need to put a plus and minus, because any time that you take the square root of something unknown equal a number, you need to apply the plus and minus, because there are two possibilities for the answer. So I would have this Okay, and then on the left I would be left with b over 2a plus minus b squared over 4a squared minus c over a, and then easily I can subtract the both side by negative b over 2a, negative b over 2a, and I can solve for x, which is negative b over 2a plus minus b squared over 4a squared minus c over a. Okay, this gives us a solution for a quadratic equation using completing the square. You don't really need to memorize this as a formula, so I'm gonna do an example right now with real coefficients. So let me add a page here. Okay, so let's consider the equation. Let's see, 2x squared plus 5x minus 1. Okay, we want to solve this using completing the square. So the first step was factoring out the coefficient of x squared. So I'm going to factor out 2. So I would have x squared plus 5 over 2x minus 1/2 equal to 0. So dividing the both sides by 2, it gives me x squared plus 5 over 2x minus 1/2 equals 0. Now the next step is grabbing the coefficient of x and make it half. So just dividing by 2 gives me 5 over 4. Now squaring this result gives me 25 over 16. And now I'm going to add these things to the both sides. But before doing that, I prefer to take the negative 1/2 to the right side. So I'm going to change this equation to x squared plus 5 over 2x equal to 1/2. So I'm simply taking the negative 1/2 to the right and make it positive, or basically I'm adding 1/2 to the both sides. Now I'm starting adding the 25, 16 to the both sides of this equation. So I have x squared plus 5 over 2x plus 25 over 16 equal 1/2 plus 25 over 16. Now if I look at this equation, this expression on the left, we would see x plus 5 over 4 squared gives us exactly the same thing. X squared is right here, 5 over 4 squared is 25 over 16 is right here, and 2 times the first term times the second one, it gives me exactly 5 over 2x. So, and on the right side, if I combine these two fractions, the 1/2 can be written as 8 over 16. So if I add them, I would get 8 plus 25, it gives me 33 over 16. Now it's ready to take the square root of the both sides, so I would have x plus 5 over 4 equal plus minus the square root of 33 over 16, which is basically x plus 5 over 4 equal plus minus the square root of 33 over 4, and then I'm subtracting 5 over 4 from the both sides. So x would be negative 5 over 4 plus minus the square root of 33 over 4, or if you want to write it a little bit nicer, it's going to be like this, and that's going to be the answer. So the way that actually I explained to you, you can use the same process to complete a square, even it's either it's an equation or like an expression. Doesn't really matter. So the procedure is the same, and this is very useful technique, but it's a little bit lengthy to solve quadratic equations. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson, and please wait for the future lessons. I'm planning to upload more videos in algebra or calculus or trig. So I hope that you find all my videos helpful and you enjoy that. I wish you the best and have a wonderful day. Bye.